The day is March 25th. For most people, it's a normal day, but deep down in the depths of the Tetris community, players are preparing for the start of a yearly tradition dedicated to pain, suffering, and fast stacking. Welcome to the Carnival of Death. The Carnival of Death basically revolves around the second game in the Tetris the Grandmaster series called Tetris the Absolute the Grandmaster 2 Plus, aka TAP. TAP is known for being the most successful game in the difficult but cherished TGM arcade series. I talk more about all three games here. In TAP, there is a mode called TA Death. Death is basically one of the hardest modes in any Tetris game because you're thrown right into 20G gravity, but things get somewhat worse. The lock delay in TA Death is super low, meaning that once the piece hits the ground, you have no time to move it around before it locks in. And over the course of the mode, the lock delay gets even more and more low, leading to gameplay like this. So it's established that it's extremely difficult, but that's what drew people to play the mode, and eventually the creation of the Carnival. The original iteration of the Carnival was started in the early 2000s in Japan, back when TAP was still the newest in the franchise. Back then, a bunch of players would get together and play TA Death for a day, whether it was competing against each other or spectating and sharing strategies. These gatherings were known as the Celebration of Death mode. A few years later, in March of 2008, user Color Thief would find this information and get the idea to hold their own Celebration of Death mode on the Tetris Concept forums. Instead of a day, however, it was a week-long event filled with activities focused around TA Death. This included a special leaderboard that opened up only for that week, where players would submit their death scores to, as well as a small death versus tournament. And so, on the midnight of March 25th, 2008, the first ever Carnival of Death was held. The name was created from the primitive machine translation at the time, and the date was chosen because in TA Death, the game stops you at level 500 if you go slower than 3 minutes and 25 seconds, aka the Toricon. 3 minutes and 25 seconds, 3:25, March 25th, aka the Toricon date. Unfortunately, there is no surviving footage of anything from the first Carnival, but what we do know is that the winner of the first Death tournament was Roasty LFC. At the end, 17 players participated, with the highest being a level 960 at 6 minutes. The Carnival of Death was successful enough that it was brought back the year later in 2009, but without the Death vs tournament, and it was cemented as an annual event. This time, the Death Toll was introduced, which is the total number of levels from everyone's best runs. Once again, on March 25th, players would start to submit their best death runs to the leaderboards, and by April 1st, the Death Toll had reached 19,365 levels from 46 players total. This was a far cry to the previous total, which was 7,906 from 17 players. And over the course of a few years, more and more people started participating, and even though it dipped a little, it soon went back up after the TGM exhibitions at Games Done Quick, with the peak being 2017, with 89 players contributing to 42,045 levels total. In 2021, the Carnival of Death was moved to be hosted on the Absolute Plus, the newly created unofficial leaderboards for the TGM series. 2021 would see the highest recorded death toll since 2017, coming in at 52,447 levels from 118 players. Now, along with the Carnival of Death came 3 other notable side events with the same premise. The Carnival of Derp, held during the same time as the Carnival of Death, is a similarly made event created by TPM2209. The aim was the same, but instead of playing using the Eureka rotation system, players were allowed to use any rotation system but ARS. This can be achieved by using clone games that have a TA Death mode, such as Cambridge's Marathon A2 or Null Pomino's Speedmania. The event started in 2016 and has had 2 tolls. The Herp toll, which is the total of everyone's best score, and the Derp toll, which is the total of everyone's score from all runs. Like the Carnival of Death, Derp was held on the Tetris Concept forums until 2021, when it moved to the Cambridge Discord server and has been held there ever since. Then there's the Carnival of Darkness, arguably the most difficult carnival ever. The The Carnival of Darkness revolves around a custom mode known as Phantom Mania, which is basically T8 death, but invisible. There's 3 different leaderboards, one for Classic ARS rule set, one for TI ARS, and one for Standard SRS, which is really funny because how the hell am I supposed to tell the difference? The Carnival was held in the week of May 23rd, which represents Phantom Mania's Toricon of 5 minutes and 23 seconds. Except for 2022, when it was held between October 24th and October 31st. Finally, there's the Carnival of Doom, which started in 2021 and takes place the week of February 28th. Doom has the same premise of death, but is played in TGM3's Shirase mode, which is just as hard, if not harder than T8 death, as you get more preview pieces and a hold function, at the cost of lock delay getting even lower than before. There are 2 tools once again, this time for the 2 rule sets, Classic ARS and World SRS. In short, if you're planning to get into the TGM community, the Carnivals are a great place to start. They're open to any and all skill levels, and it's always a great way to measure how far you've come and how far you have to go. All you have to do is make an account on the Absolute.plus, play some death, screenshot your score, and send it in. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope to see you at the Carnival.